cedis per month. So
wow.
I had to pay the one that I was already in as much as I really wanted to move out because it was much affordable. Yeah.
So I'm also hoping that this time around they'll walk the talk, because it has become a very critical issue. It's very worrying. If you want to get a place to rent 2 years advance, you know, looking at the situation here in Ghana, it's really hard, and so we are hoping that they do the needful.
Compared to a family, parents and then the children, you have to get like a 2-bedroom. And now 2 bedrooms are like 2K, 1,008. Yeah,
because the minimum wage of Ghanaians is nothing to write home about, and you have to accumulate this huge sum of money.
You take food, you take transportation, health,
and you're barely left with nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's the main reason why living in Accra is very difficult. I think apart from that, you work at the end of the month and you use all your pay to, you know, pay rent. Even
but do you think that it is we that is making Accra expensive? Because whatever being the case, I really need the house.
Sure.
Even if it's loan, I can get it and pay. And then it's making the landlords comfortable because, oh, me, it is 1,500 for madam, 2 years advance. I'm not reducing. What can you do about it?
But the fact is also that you also need a place to lay your head to pay. So that is how it's going to be if the authorities, you know, step in and then do the right thing. At least law enforcement agencies should be applied today, so that it doesn't, like you rightly
because
said.
this is not the first time I'm hearing about this. So if they've reiterated this, they have to actually walk the talk.
Sure.
Yeah. And there are some few trends when you come to X. Nanaba is trending. Do you know why?
No.
So she made some comment about the Independence Day and the reasons the state is supposed to give to us for not doing it at the usual place. Like he said, we should render accountability and all that. We should spell out the reasons and come out with figures. The figures will be losing for hosting that at the Independence Square instead of just coming because of financial constraints. We are not able to hold it at the Independence Square this time around. So that's why she's trending. Then, yeah, so many trending stories here. But let's focus on our main story for today.
Okay.
Take that quickly. But Charlie, after Valentine, what's next? We are all back to square one, huh?
Everyone knows his or her stand. Yes. So
we are all back to square one, I can say. Edna never got anything. Peter never got anything. We are all in this together. So on our first story, it says, in response to the mounting excitement surrounding government appointment, President John Dramani Mahama has cautioned that it's not nation but also about the need to provide outcomes for the people. Speaking to the Ghanaian community in Ethiopia on Monday, February 17, that was yesterday, John Dramani Mahama noted that although many people are curious about who has been given a green, these positions carry a lot of responsibilities and high standards. Ghanaian inspired mechanized, he continued by saying that one of the main issues he will examine urgently is the amendment of the Constitution, coupled with stabilization of the economy and the creation of possibilities for the youth as quickly as possible. If he is unable to finish the task at hand, he is determined to lay the foundation to put Ghana on the right track. So that's our president yesterday at the forum. What do you have to say about this? Did he hit the nail on the head?
Exactly. I think that's the right step to take. accountability has become very imperative. Governance system from the past up until now, we've been facing issues that I think if we were able to hold our appointees accountable, wouldn't be where we are right now. Wasting a lot of resources trying to hold people accountable. For instance, when you take a look at the ghost name, the NSS saga,
sure.
What is going on?
It was trending last week.
Very, very
It's still
bad.
trending, actually.
It is still trending just because we refuse to hold people in authority accountable. And it is very important that he make them know that it's not about you just being in power, just receiving the green letter and this and that and that. You'll be held accountable on whatever thing you're doing. And so with that, they will be mindful of whatever thing they are doing. These high-profile cases, the OSP is, accusing of the former finance minister, the SML saga, the TIDRA, and a whole lot. This is because we refuse to hold them accountable. Now, if you make them know this is the position you are going for, and you'll be held accountable. You are here because of the Ghanaians. And so whatever thing you are doing, you have to be transparent. You wouldn't spend much resources trying to find out who did this and who did that. It's very worrying. So I keep on asking myself, with the NSS saga, for instance, do we have auditors right here in this country?
We do.
And so why? So all this while, my problem is, why didn't were they not able to find out that these ghost names are somewhere in there and that they are causing financial loss to the country? It is very sad. So I think that if the president is retreating on that, it's a right step in the right direction.
Sure.
So,
your take?
I side with Peter because this NSS saga thing, I remember doing my NSS, every month we go and submit a report. So how come these ghost names came out? But then, I don't know. But accountability, our leaders should do more because we've given them a position that is very high and it's of high standard. And if they are not transparent with us, how will we trust them? You get me? It's all about transparency and responsibility. They should be responsible and account. Because looking at this, a lot of issues are coming up, and I'm sure by next week there will be more. And what are we doing about it? We have to put them on their toes and then make them accountable for everything they've done. Yeah.
All right. So I like the fact that he highlighted that in as much as in the past government, we should know, as we are in government, he was speaking to his government, that they will be held accountable. So this is to set the tone. That's what you are criticizing. You said Operation Recover All Loot and all that. So as you are doing it to the past government, remember, it will get to your turn. And he also said something about he not being able to do, at least he would have set the pace for subsequent leadership that would, So I like that fact too. All right. So let me read my second story quickly. It says, the Ghana Cocoa Board has denied social media claims that the government has increased cocoa prices, labeling these reports as completely untrue. The regulatory body has encouraged stakeholders and the public to ignore this misinformation. Updates on cocoa pricing only through official communication channels. A social media flyer claimed that the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Opoku, stated cocoa would receive 70% of the world market price. However, Cocoa Board has rejected assertion as misleading. The situation arises as cocoa farmers and industry stakeholders closely watch for possible price changes in response to fluctuations in the global markets. So that's about cocoa pricing and the misinformation that arose during the the Agric Minister's presentation in Parliament, actually he never said they would increase to 70%, but information out there on social media is suggesting that. What do you have to say about this misleading information that have to speak to?
So for me, I believe that, yes, in as much as it is misinformation, the issue is that, you know, previously we were the leading producer of cocoa. What happened? We are now the second largest producer of cocoa. And so I would say that in as much as it is misinformation, it is the right time for them to come back and be accountable to Ghanaians. They have to be transparent. You know, cocoa farmers are suffering. Cocoa farmers are really suffering, and we know that about 25% of cocoa goes into our economy, and a whole lot. And so even if it is true that they are calling for 70% increment, currently 64 kg of cocoa is 3,100 Ghana cedis, which I would say it is not enough, taking into consideration the kind of work that goes into it. I was privileged to go to school in the Western region, so visit these cocoa sites from the Lembe district and a whole lot. Trust me, the kind of work that goes into it, from the cocoa farm to the house, drying it before taking it,
and sometimes
very
I wonder why we've not gotten to the mechanized system, because I see farmers sitting in the cocoa into two just to take the seed. I wonder how. Something we should hold dear to our hearts, like a gold. Now we just leave it to the mere farmer, no supports them. There are so many issues when it comes to the cocoa farming industry.
And what even kills me is that they lack good road network. Some of them have been there for the whole of their lives trying to produce, and at the end they don't get anything. Some of them don't get the opportunity to even watch a living. They don't have light, nothing. So even transporting the cocoa from their various farms to the marketplace is something, very. I believe that it is high time that the government and cocoa board sit down and consider this, 70%. In as much as it is, misinformation. When you look at 70%, when you calculate, it is just about they are demanding for 5,000, I think 100 and something cedis for a bag, 60 kg. And so I think this one also presents an opportunity for cocoa board to come back clear, explain to us what is transpiring and a whole lot.
How do you know?
Right now, I think how the global markets, prices of goods are fluctuating, and then farmers are anxious for updates. I think that first and foremost, if they hear or see any posts about increments or decrements of something, the Ghana Cocoa Board has a page. If not so, relevant sources they can, or valid sources they can get their information from.
Exactly. They
should just go there and verify if whatever post that has been said is true before they start getting amazed or getting happy about this post. But then again, these farmers work so hard, and I feel like their appreciation is less due to the fact that a lot is being put in their harvesting and then their sowing of crops. So if stuff like this come and then it is a misinformation, the cocoa organization has to come out and say something about it real quick so that they can get the raw information or the accurate information, right, Peter?
Yeah. Sure. And even the impact of this, let's assume that yes, the Agric Minister just said that they are going to increase it at 70%. The impact is that it's going to enhance the livelihood of many Ghanaians.
About this,
you see, so I think they deserve it. It is possible. It is doable. So I think they should reconsider and come out clear. And like you rightly said, when you visit the pages of Cocoa Board and a whole lot, you don't actually find a clear information that indicates this and that, the price and a whole lot. And so I think present an opportunity for the cocoa board to come back and do the needful.
So they should just get a trusted source and find their informations there,
Sure.
so that they won't be disappointed the next time. Because I feel like when this 70% increments came, they were very happy about it.
Exactly.
At least they are being appreciated now. And looking at it, everything has changed due to misinformation.
Yeah. But I'm still hoping that they stick to that, because it is doable. Like I always say, there is no fire without,
At
smoke.
least, if not 70%, maybe 45 or 50%, just to...
All right, so some time back, I'm not cutting you, I'm sorry. Some time back, the Minister for Agric, Eric Opoku, who we are speaking about, disclosed that Ghana's cocoa board is debt, owing a whopping amount of 27 billion Ghana cedis to creditors, with 5.37 billion is due this year. Okay, so actually he made mention of the 70%,
Sure.
which he was hoping would be the reward to the farmers, but he didn't say that during Parliament sitting. He said that during his vetting.
Okay.
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 And I think that's where the misinformation is coming from.
Yeah. So according to him, this massive debt is the reason Ghanaian cocoa farmers are not receiving their expected 70% share of earnings. So that was what he said during the vetting. So he didn't say it during Parliament sitting, actually. The misinformation. But as to where he said that
Sure.
was the misinformation.
So this also boils down to what the current president said: accountability, take responsibility. And so this was not caused by the mere peasant cocoa farmers out there in the bush trying to make a living. So we should hold accountable some leaders, people who are responsible. Why this huge sum of debt? What caused that? Because you can't just come out and say this without proving, without giving us the reason what caused it.
Okay.
Yes, and so, like I said, it all boils down to accountability, taking responsibility for your actions and all of that. Because this amount is very huge, very huge. What circumstances led to this debt? I think we need some form of explanation. We need some form of explanation. And I still insist that it is
All right.
See, there are some people that have not seen cocoa trees before, but they are benefiting scholarships. When you go to the villages, some people have, like, let's say their entire life, they have kids, but their kids have never benefited from these cocoa scholarships and a whole lot. So I still these cocoa farmers are being cheated, and then they should reconsider. In as much as it is misinformation, it is doable. There's something they can do. So you see that Ghana has, actually, as the leading producer of cocoa, like some years back, has dropped. You can also, relate this to the issue of, galamsey and a whole lot. Because some farmers feel that, not some, actually, they feel that, yes, they are not gaining anything from the cocoa. So when these so-called miners go to them and they tell them, we found this on your land, and so we want to give you this, and, cut down your cocoas and mine there. They sit back and calculate the number of years they've been in the, the bush, the amount they've earned, and then the amount they're about to earn. They'll just sell it out and they'll cut down. And then this area I'm talking about, the Jomoro, Elembele district, most of the cocoa farms have been turned to rubber plantations. Others have sold it out to. I want the, cocoa lesson decrease. It will drop. And so if farmers are being treated well, they are giving what they want, it will encourage them to plant more, and subsequently it will lead to gradually we can also get the spots we used to be in the world market. Yes.
All right. So we have a comment here. Samwa Tengan Ernest. He says good morning to you all. Good morning, someone. And you can also share your thoughts and your comment to the number displayed on the screen, 0500500421. We are speaking about the cocoa pricing and how misinformation has gone out there. That's the Agric Minister is awarding 70% of the cocoa prices to the farmers, the cocoa farmers. Yes, we are talking about this, and you can also share your thoughts. We've spoken about how President John Dramani at a forum yesterday spoke about accountability, holding his government accountable in the future. So share your thoughts about these two, okay? All right, so what other thing is trending? So yesterday, the former finance minister, there was an official communique out there from the OSP that he has been termed as wanted.
Sure.
This is serious. Last week we were talking about this particular issue and how people would see us, international bodies will see us, and I think this thing has gone to the extreme, but international bodies, since we had the letter that he is in the United States, I think with the official one statement out there, something can be done for him to come and be interrogated in the country.
So for me, this whole issue is what my take is that, so the OSP had the whole time looking at the number of cases that has been leveled against the former finance minister. He had the whole time to investigate, to call him to do everything. But why the wait till this time? And so, like, people are saying that this is a kind of political witch hunting, because most of the evidence were clear. Looking at the National Cathedral, you and I know what actually went into it.
Yes, so even a mere human being will know that the cathedral is there, and the amount of money that was said to have been invested into the cathedral is nothing to write. It's a huge sum of money, actually, but when you look at the work, it's comparably, it doesn't align.
So what prevented him from taking on the case when he was in power, or when the president was in power? And so people are saying that this is just a political witch hunting and a whole lot. And then also the fact that people are also suggesting that he goes to the United States to, get the man himself and ask whatever questions he wants to ask. I think, for me, I believe that you can't just go into an So I think they will need some kind of, approval from the government of the United States and a whole lot. And so we are hoping that they will do the right thing. And then this also boils down to what? Accountability. And taking responsibility for your actions. If he knows that whatever thing he's going to do, at the end of the day, he's going to account to the people of Ghanaians. I don't think he would have done some of the things that he did. I'm not saying that whatever cases that have been leveled against him, but we are yet to find out. But I'm just saying that if he had at the back of his mind that, okay, this is what I'm doing, I'm serving the good people of Ghana, because of this, and whatever thing I'm going to do, I'll be held accountable for it, we wouldn't have gotten to this place. And then people cited the example that during the President Mohammed's regime, his brother, I'm forgetting his name, about this airbag saga. So the OSP traveled all the way to the United States to interview the person. They expect that,
he could have done the same with the finance minister.
But here we are talking about our resources. We can't continue to misuse our resources because of the negligence of some other people. It's not fine. And I think that call from the president is a very good one, and we are hoping that he walks the talk.
Right. We have something to say.
Beatrice, while I was talking, the only thing that came in mind was, should we always allow people to for their actions after they are done serving. So after the 4 years, we are now searching for our ex-finance minister to account for his actions. And this, why is he failing to appear for questioning?
Oh, he's there on medical grounds. I learned he has a ill.
Okay, so last week I was privileged to watch an interview with the communications, man of the office of the special prosecutor, and it made mention that they've not received any official letter from the hospital wherever the finance minister is being treated, which states that he's bedridden or something, that he cannot appear or something.
Okay.
So he not appearing is a whole lot. So it's questionable, like you said. Why is he not availing himself? And then he also said that his lawyers wanted to represent him, but which of course they said they need him one-on-one to, since it's a matter involving fingerprint and a whole lot. So the question still remains, like you said, why is he not availing himself? And they are saying that they've not received any official letter that indicates that, okay, fine, the Ken Oforiatta is very ill and that he cannot walk, he cannot
his lawyers made that clear.
Maybe
that
we
is from
need
the lawyers, but
evidence.
from not from the hospital. Like a doctor say, okay, this, a doctor's report that indicate that this, okay, he cannot be on the plane for maybe 5 hours or 2 hours, and because of that, he cannot appear, or he cannot talk, or something of that sort.
But Ghana has a treaty with the United States, and therefore, if this formal wanton statement have been put out there, there's something that would be done by state government to bring him back for interrogation. So we are trying to see how this issue unfolds.
So I'm sure that's why it is, delaying.
Yeah. Long as there's that kind of treaty, everything would be a formal.
But then, irrespective of all that, like you rightly say, it doesn't project a good image of Ghana out there. Yes, it's not fun. But then, yeah.
Other bodies, international bodies, are watching us. The IMF, where we went for a bailout, will be watching keenly because they've had so many dealings with the former finance minister, and there's a big question on us. So I pray that the government tackles it very well. So well that it's transparent and everybody sees it for what it is, and not a witch hunting or political witch hunting as it is. All right, so we have messages. Let me read that quickly, then we move on, okay? So HM Joe, he says, good morning, good cocoa morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good cocoa morning to you too. Even when the increment, will it positively affect cocoa farmers? Okay, so he's saying even with the 70% increment, he is back to the cocoa farmer issue. So even with the 70% increment, will it positively affect the cocoa farmers? I think if there's a motivation, they would be able to do good for the country and do more. Yeah.
At least, and I think it is not enough, but then it is good. It's a very good way to motivate them to do more, like you said. Yeah. So.
All right. On that note, we talk about enhancing food security, and I know cocoa production popping in our conversation during the main segment. Thank you so much for your time in this discussion. So that's it for our online print review. Up next is the lifestyle segment with Edna Yeboah Boaten. Please stay tuned.
CLOG TV. Beyond the policy. beyond the policy.
Welcome to the lifestyle segment. I am your host, Edna Yeboah-Boateng. Don't forget live on Facebook and on YouTube, and also you can send in your comments. Let's get interactive. You see, Valentine just ended, and I know a lot of you were heartbroken, as I was. But then moving on, our topic for discussion this morning is overcoming heartbreak and moving. It does click. For we the ladies, it does click. And I have here with me a relationship coach who will be delving into this heartbreak of ours. And I want to read a little profile about him before we start. First and foremost, everything about this profile, I want to do same. I told him that I want to be like him when I grow up. Let's see. So he is Apostle Theophilus Jeffries. He is the leading pastor and founder of EFCCI Spentex, president and founder of Coaching, ACPC. He is a certified life coach, your transformational speaker, success coach, your motivational speaker, your emotionologist. Are you hearing me? Your emotionologist. I mean, send in your comments. Today is going to get interactive. Your behavioral, let me take my time. Your behaviorologist, your marriage and relationship counselor, your love hygienist, your emotions doctor. When am I going to end? Your mind specialist, your personal and family financial consultant. Wow. Once again, he is Apostle Theophilus Jeffries. Hi.
Hi, you look lovely, you look smart, you look catchy, you look lively, and it's good for the show. For a topic like this, broken out and moving on. Look as if you have moved on from so many things, and your energy is great.
I can say that I am healed.
Wow.
I mean, when you are ready to get heartbreaks and then you are make sure you are healed, right?
Okay, yeah, of course. Most people are not healed.
Exactly.
Most people are still hurting, and they have never been healed. And people assume that time heals. Time is not a healer. It is treatment that heals.
Really?
So when you are assuming that you'll be healed with time, because emotional wounds they are more cancerous than physical wounds.
Wow.
Yes, when you are emotionally wounded, you are emotionally bruised.
I mean, it breaks you.
Yes, within. So it's more dangerous, just like when somebody have a car accident. They say, okay, external bleeding, which is physical. But the internal bleeding, which we don't see. So they will ask you, even if you don't see any cut on your physical body, go for a checkup. Because there could be internal bleeding, which is more dangerous. So emotional wounds are very difficult to identify. In fact, I can see you smiling like this and babbling and everything, but only God knows whether
I can step out right now.
Yes. Cheer
like
up.
never before.
Yes, so that's how dangerous emotional wounds are when people are not healed. Anyway, let me not start the discussion already.
Right, you've said it so, and then since we've started right now, I think the conversation is going to be very interactive.
Yes, very.
So
very,
viewers, please
very.
do send in your comments and we'll read it out to you. So heartbreak. Broken before?
Yeah, I've had one.
How was it?
In fact, that's how come I discovered that I was a relationship coach.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was like, I think, 17, 18 years ago. Yes. And you know, when you are a young guy, you are like a young pastor, you have a fellowship, you are leading people, and you are always teaching and coaching. So mine happened in a way that, you know, when a lady is crashing on you and gradually, you know, and give you all the signs and the signals and everything, and then gradually you got the signal. So you go in.
Yeah.
That's how mine was. You know, the first time I said, man, but it was not easy. When it happened to me, I'll go to the park. I'll go to the park and I'll go and I will pray. Then I'll cry and say, oh God, look at your hurting boy. Hey, I'm telling you.
But then I feel like your first heartbreak is painful.
Not very painful.
Subsequent ones.
Yes, of course. Usually the first is more difficult, more stressful, more dangerous. But just after the first, subsequent ones, experience builds you up. Experience coaches you up.
Okay, so as you're saying, experience builds you up, and experience So how would you say, what ways can one cope with heartbreaks?
Most people are not able to cope. In fact, the word coping, actually, I don't even use that word cope, because coping only means that you just want to just hold on for a while.
Yeah.
Heartbreak, you don't cope with it. Heal yourself.
Not everyone can heal.
No, so if you are not healed, that is how come a lot of people are emotionally wounded and damaged. See,
Yeah.
it's one of the greatest causes of relationship instability. Many people are in relationship with trauma. Their reaction, their oversensitiveness, their mental hysterical approach and attitude is because of trauma. They went through something, so they are using old bricks to build a new relationship.
Exactly.
Because you've not been healed. And guess what? Wounded cannot build anything fruitful. Wounded people cannot build anything sustainable. So once you are wounded, believe you, you are going to wound whoever you are going to be dating. So the concept of coping is in a way suggestive like a painkiller. Painkillers don't actually heal. What they do is that it just takes the pain off. It is medication, real medication that heals. So coping mechanisms only helps you just like maybe going to drink, you forget for a while and just move around. For a while it could take your mind off, but the damage it will have on your soul, the damage it will have on your personality, the damage it will have on your behavior is people should actually go, especially when your heartbreak is a severe one. We call that one the acute one. Maybe coming from a disenfranchised heartbreak, because there are different types of heartbreaks.
There are different types of heartbreak.
Oh, heartbreak, yes.
So
I mentioned one, like I said, disenfranchised heartbreak.
Okay.
That is the one where your partner left you and make it look as if it's nothing. Like you have been disenfranchised. You will not be allowed to vote. Like your right to grieve that, no, it's hurtful. Like they don't see anything wrong with moving on or leaving you or dishing you or that. Like he or she doesn't see. People leave you and they move on smoothly as if
they weren't the one that proposed to you.
As if they have not been involved with you. See someone like that, you bleed them more, because can you imagine? Like seriously, it's disenfranchised. That one is very deadly. But when somebody moves away, but they understand that you are hurting, they understand that it will be painful. Understanding that they will have alone helps you to hold on a little.
Now, why would you break my heart and have emotions for me that it's painful or something?
So society is becoming very deadly now.
Okay.
When you are dating somebody, we call something emotional attachment. The reason why this thing called heartbreak, it's not actually heartbreaking, it's just emotional melt down, because your heart can be broken. Because when we talk about heartbreak, we're talking about changes that happen to you based on physiological changes. Now, mind you, emotions are not from the heart. Our brain is what produces our emotions.
Okay.
How does that happen? Anytime you see the nerves that are responsible for unconscious processes within your system, like heartbeat, breathing, those are unconscious. They happen. The nerves that are responsible for these particular activities, they can detect stress, distress, anxiety from your environment, from activities. So immediately they pick up a stressful issue or activity, they will treat your body, which we call maladaptive response, like flight or fight. Once that happens, you see that your heart vessels, they'll contract. Once they contract, it begins to pump more blood. That's how come when you have heartbreak, you see, like you have unusual heartbreak, you be breathing unconsciously.
It even gives you headache.
Headache, and like shortness of breath.
You can even hallucinate.
Thank you very much. So that process is biological, because your nerve responds and triggers those responses. So the highest stress hormone in your body called cortisol. Cortisol. The heartbreak syndrome is called, let me mention that way. The heartbreak syndrome is called, let me mention that way. It's going to be very difficult for people to pronounce. Takochobo cardio.
Us too far.
No, that is the heartbreak syndrome in science. The heartbreak syndrome. They have discovered that this Takochobo cardiomyopathy has the ability to weaken your heart. The heart can become fragile.
I mean, this heartbreak issue has to be studied.
Anybody Anybody who experiences heartbreak, you see that literally your chest is pounding.
Exactly.
You have shortness of breath. Literally, you see that there will be a lot of hollowness in your stomach.
Is it because you didn't expect that at that moment?
So there's another heartbreak called anticipatory heartbreak.
You anticipate for the
that one.
This thing is not going in. Actually, you are waiting for the person to come and finally break up with you.
That one, people can easily move on because, like, you're already expecting it. You know, it's anticipatory. So you are hoping that when it happens, you are able to handle it better.
So why not action? If you feel like someone, like my partner, if I see some signs that this boy looks like he's not really interested in the relationship anymore, I should be ready for heartbreak. Like he'll break up with me. If not, why can't I break up with him to save myself? Because I feel like when someone gives you heartbreak, it is more painful than you breaking up with the person. Whoever being the case initiating the act, the person is a bit okay, that's fine. It's true. It's true. You see, but the point here is that why won't people just break away? There are abusive relationships that people are in. Some can't move, they just can't move away because we call something, like I said, emotional attack. You see, the greatest investment you make in a relationship is emotions. The person has done a lot. You have invested a lot of emotions. So breaking away, let me give you a scenario. This is my iPad. If my hand is full of glue and iPad, it will stick. If I want to remove it, chances are that it will take a long while. You see that it will be peeling off. This is what happens to you when you are emotionally joined to somebody mentally, especially when you are involved in with a lot of intimate activities. To pull away, investing. Yes, so it's going to be very difficult. So you also don't just pull away like that. Those who just pull away like that. So if your partner just walk away from you like that, it's chaotic. That can send people to some psycho issues because somebody just wake up, suddenly they don't talk to you, they don't pick your call, you reach them, they don't pick nothing, they just disappear. No explanation. With a lot of mental hysteria, you are thinking, you are wondering, what have I done? And people are looking for closure. Even me, friendship breakup hurts a lot because I invest more in my friendship relationships, talk more of a romance relationship. And I wouldn't wish this for anyone because first and foremost, when you are in a relationship with someone, I feel like you should just get to know the person and then know how to detach when finally you want to break up with the person. Everyone's emotions is different, right? Well, emotions are not really different, but how we respond. I have someone, the person doesn't get heartbreaks or no. Physically, that's what the person is. Then this person hasn't fallen in love. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. Unless you are not in love, you can't fake this thing. Love it comes with a rush of energy. That they say love is as strong as death. Things we do for love. Do you understand that? Things we do for money are the same. The energy we put in to make money is the same energy we put into love. That is why most times during a vox pop or something, when you ask love or money, people say both. Yes, both goes together. It's difficult to. Money can buy love, but money can preserve love. Money can protect love. Money can nurture love. Money can heal love. So, you're saying the truth. So money is a facilitator, a booster, a helper, an insurer. With maybe for a better word, money insures your love. Wow. But it's not the source. But money can buy a lot of love. Money can buy romantic love. Yes. Yes. Money can buy a seductive love. Oh, yes. You don't need to see a guy pull a very slick Mercedes Benz. That Benz alone, with the money alone, you develop something for him. Not because you love him as a person. It is what he has. So people can trigger lust, seduction, affection out of all those stuff. But genuine love, which we're talking about, cannot be love. Your heart decides who you want. Yeah. And it does not really decide who you really want in your life. But the actual person that your heart is yearning for is not
it's not being dictated by money. It is only your heart. So you may be here, this person, you just like this person.
Oh.
Oh.
Can you tell me some of heartbreak?
Heartbreak. One of the first signs of heartbreak is people begin to withdraw, isolate themselves.
Yeah.
They just don't want to talk to anybody.
Okay.
You want to be left alone. Now, that is okay for a while.
But then the person can hurt him or herself.
No, people do that. That's why I said if it's an acute one,
Okay.
that traumatized, like maybe you're about to get married.
Okay.
You went through counseling, everything. Suddenly, 2 days or a month within, the guy cancel the marriage or the lady walk out on you. Like, people can be traumatized. And in such cases, it's an extreme one. It leads to acute depression. People have to quickly go around such a person. But we're talking about the people had, yes.
Before you move on,
Yeah.
I would want to read a comment.
Yes.
This is from Bevelyn Ejb and Annabelle. And she says, heartbreak, romantic relationships, friendships end, dreams shatter, and family bonds can fracture. Why do we often overlook these other forms of heartbreak, and how can people better acknowledge and heal from them?
Okay, so like he said, but just that every show has a focus.
Okay.
So if we come here today and we want to generalize, just talk about, we will not make impact. So our focus, whoever sent the message, is we fixated on talking about romantic heartbreak. Then we can make impact. Your point is valid. There are several, like you have even said, somebody, Valentine, you didn't get a gift, so you had a heartbreak. Yet the host said she didn't receive a gift, so she had a heartbreak.
Why are you telling everyone? I told just you.
No, I can't keep some secrets, so.
You're breaking my heart right now.
Yes, so that we acknowledge the very fact that there are several, like you mentioned, even normal friendship. One of the people that experience greatest heart trauma are pastors. Because pastors, we love our members. It's like your sheep. You fall in love with your member. You love them. You invest time. You pray for them. You do so. When members can just wake up one day and leave church.
Yes.
And without telling you anything, they disappear.
Yes.
Ask any pastor.
I came on my own, so I can leave.
No, you can't just live like that. Like, at least say something. Why are you leaving? Why did you? And they just disappear.
When I come to you, you convince me
without
to
saying anything. You see, so there are several types of ministry work. Even your PA can just walk away from you. You understand? As a boss, a lot of managers, people who work for them, their PA, their assistant, they disappear for anything. So there are several types of heartbreaks, but their consequence is not as deadly as the romantic one. The only heartbreak that allows people to go and kill is this one.
The romantic
one. We have heard people killing each other. Actually, it's men.
About you, if you don't want me, then I am dying. Some even kill
each other.
Yes.
Yeah. If I can't have you, no one should have you.
Yes. I kill you and I kill myself.
Yes.
We are going to end up wherever.
And usually the killing majority is done by men. Men can't take heartbreak. Yeah. Women are built for emotional elasticity. So
really?
Women are tough in the inside. Men are weak. Men are
sure?
When the Bible says that the woman is a weaker vessel, the word is vessel. Okay. So the container is fragile. You see, women, that's why all your external features are soft. You see, are soft, are supple. So they say women like soft places. No, your container is fragile, but your content is solid, is strong. The pain a woman can endure, a man can endure. The pain a woman can take, a man can take. Men are themselves quickly emotionally. They can't take it.
So, with what you just said, how can one prioritize self-care?
Unfortunately, in our part of the world here, self-care is actually termed as being selfish.
Yes.
When you want to take care of yourself, when you want to do you, when you want to do me.
Yes.
Listen carefully, whoever is listening. There is no you without you. The first person you must not lose is yourself. I wrote a book, I have not even published that particular book here. I call it 7 Things You Must Not do when you fall in love again? Number one, don't forsake yourself. Unfortunately, when people fall in love, you know what they do? They forget themselves. Taking care of your partner, your boyfriend, they literally, because it's okay, yeah, when you are in love, you want to make your partner feel good. But many people forget themselves. They abandon themselves. They don't take care of themselves. They don't promote themselves. Most of these guys who say, I look after the girl in school, and after school, she left me. Of course, she will leave you. You were not upgrading yourself. You are not updating yourself. You must also take care of yourself. People should understand that never lose yourself. There's a time in your life you must close up from everyone and focus on you. If you are a better person, you can help people better. If I go and learn better as a counselor, I can advise better. So a better me is a better people. A better me helps people develop better. So prioritizing first self-care should not be seen as a bad thing. That's why people can't do it. But it's a good thing. Prioritize yourself. Don't feel guilty. There's a way you can feel guilty when you want to take care of yourself. When you want to buy something nice for yourself. People are just a lot of men. A lot of men, you work, you don't even buy anything for yourself. This evening, please buy something. Take yourself out. Be happy. Buy a new shoe for yourself. You know, treat yourself well. Don't feel guilty when you are spending.
Don't lose yourself.
Don't lose yourself and don't feel guilty.
Helping someone and not helping yourself.
The reason why people is because they feel guilty. Many people, they feel guilty when they are doing, and society can make you feel guilty for doing that.
Even if they want to eat, they are thinking about what you have eaten. And that's bad.
It's not too good.
Satisfy yourself first.
Your first. So it's the first one. The second thing is that you see, there's a difference between loneliness and aloneness.
Okay.
Loneliness is when you are feeling emptiness within you and you need human association.
All right. What are your last words?
Okay, so my last words basically is that heartbreaks are inevitable.
But chipping this for me, someone going through a heartbreak, how do you want a person to move on?
If you're going through a heartbreak, number one, accept the pain.
Okay.
Don't fight it.
All right.
Your emotions are such that anytime you fight an emotion, they grow.
Okay.
But once you accept the emotion, it stays for a while and disappear on their own. Wow. So never fight a heartbreak. Number two, accept.
Okay.
Immediately you accept that it's over, that is when your healing starts. Until you are healing will never start. You will be stuck. You still be stagging the person, trying to see if he's coming back. So what you need to do to move on, you won't do because you are still hoping that we can come back, and so you'll be lingering around and you'll be hurting your wounds. So people should immediately accept that it is over. Once you accept it is over, hey, it's easy to move on.
Your last words.
My last words is that relationships are tough these days. You can't trust anybody. You can't be too sure in any individual. So when you are going into relationship, don't follow your heart, they tell you, but follow your head. Because your heart can deceive you. Your heart can be triggered with a lot of emotions. Your heart can be triggered with a lot of hormones. You call it the biology of love, but you must follow the psychology of love. When you follow the biology of love, you can be deceived because your heart can lead you wrong. Somebody can trigger some feelings within your system and then you feel good. You think you love them. They are okay for you. You close your head. Don't close your head. Open your head.
Thank you so much. And if there's one thing I've learned today is to follow my heart. Looks like this last thing is... No, it shouldn't be.
It has entered you. I think somebody is trying to capture your heart. I said they should not follow your heart. Follow your head.
Follow your head. Do not follow your heart. And this was a very interactive discussion. I hope to see you soon. Yeah, that's all we have on today's episode of Lifestyle. Up next is the
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
Welcome to the birthday segment. As we are still in the month of love to each and everyone, please do send in your birthday messages because we always want to celebrate with you. And on our first birthday, this is from I can't see the name well, producer. To Mary Hannan. And it says, you are a shining light in my life, and I'm so grateful for the joy, love, and laughter you bring every day. Watching you grow into a kind, smart, and beautiful soul fills my heart with pride. May this new year bring you endless happiness, success, and all the dreams your heart desires. Mama loves you. This is from Mimi to Mary Hannan. Okay, the second is, this is from Na to Benjamin Ashrifi, and it says, happy belated birthday to second class officer Benjamin Ashrifi Amwa of the Ghana Prison Service. Bring you all the success and happiness you deserve. Cheers to more wins. And that's all I have for you on today's birthday segment. As I said earlier, please do well to drop in your birthday celebrants. We'll be so elated to wish. Up next is the sports segment with James Bernard. Stay tuned.
CLOG TV. Beyond the policy. CLOG TV, Beyond the Policy.
We are up and grateful. It's time for sports update right here on the Coco Digest Morning Show with me, James Bernard. There. In the headlines, J. Asamoah has been charged for assault. And Black Stars psychologist Chris Pegger unlicensed. And Mohamed Salah, United legends, scoring records with a goal at Anfield. Let's go for this commercial break. We'll be back with the full stories. So in our first story, Elmina Sharks midfielder Jane Asamoah has been charged with assault after he tried with a stone in the Division 1 League match in Central Region. Asamoah has been charged with the breaching section of Ghana Football Association Disciplinary Code 13 for his attack on referee Esau Morrison after Elmina Sharks lost 1-0 against All Blacks last Sunday. In our second, the acting registrar of Ghana Psychology Council, Anna Peggy, has revealed that the psychologist of the Black Stars has not qualified to be working in the country as a psychologist. And in our last story, Mohamed Salah has become the fourth player to score 100 goals in the same venue. The Egyptian attacker has a goal scoring record at Old Trafford with 100 goals at Anfield against Wolves last Sunday. This is where we withdraw the sports segment here on the Coco Digest Morning Show. I am James Bernard.
CLOG TV, Beyond the Policy. CLOG TV, Beyond the Policy.
Hello and welcome to the business segment. Here we provide you with the latest business news, expert analysis and market trends that will impact your business investment decision. My name is Peter Nsia, and now let's get started with our first story. In our first story, petrol and diesel prices are expected to see a slight decline in the second pricing window of February 2025, while liquefied petroleum gas prices are likely to stay the same. The Institute of Energy Securities attribute these lower prices of refined petroleum products on the global market, despite the cedi's 2.18% depreciation against the US dollar.
2025. Fuel prices increased for the third time since the beginning of the year. Diesel rose by 0.45 Ghana cedis per litre, while petrol saw a 0.24 Ghana cedis increase. IES price monitor average prices for petrol and diesel stood at 15.61 Ghana cedis and 15.65 Ghana cedis per litre, respectively, while LPG was priced at 18.7 Ghana cedis per litre. Despite price hikes, the expected decline in petrol and diesel prices in the upcoming pricing window reflects international market trends, while LPG prices are set to remain unchanged.
And in our last story, the latest data from the Bank of Ghana reveals that the Treasury rejected 8.27 billion Ghana cedis in bids at its most recent auction, marking one of the largest rejections since 2023. Investors submitted bids totaling 17.70 billion Ghana cedis, significantly surpassing the 8.07 billion Ghana cedis together, with the Treasury accepting 9.43 billion Ghana cedis. And so on this very story, I'll be joined shortly via phone call a financial analyst who would help us to digest this topic. Discussing the topic, the impact of Treasury bids bill rejection on market trends. Is it not questionable that at this critical moment where Ghana is looking for money to raise the economy, to revamp the economy, the government has rejected a whooping sum of 8.27 billion Ghana cedis? It is questionable. And so joining me on phone is our guest in the person of Mr. Gideon Ade-Tewia. He's a chartered accountant, a member of the Institute of Internal Auditors. He's a certified project management consultant and a partner of GAB and Associates. Hello, good morning, sir, and welcome to the business segment on the Coco Digest Morning Show.
Hi, good morning, Peter.
Yes, and so I want to ask your take on this one, the government rejecting a whooping amount of 2.27 billion Ghana cedis. Take on this.
Yeah, so the government action to reject the Treasury bill, it's something that would say it's a signal that the government is trying to tell Ghanaians of its confidence in controlling and stabilizing the fiscal policy of the country. So generally, I'm sure, to make it very simple, we understand our demand and supply. So by demand and supply, we know very well that when the demand for a particular product is higher, definitely the price of it is going to be higher. Then here, the demand of Ghanaians in buying the Treasury bill has risen. However, the government is trying to claim or is trying to tell Ghanaians that we have only little to offer. And that is what is illegal. So Ghanaians want to purchase the treasury bills, and the government is saying that, okay, so I have enough money, I don't need so much from you. It's a rejection. The government is in a way trying to tell us of its confidence in itself that in attempt to normalize the economy, control inflation, it has led to its action to reject a number of treasury bills that they have received. So, personally, from the point of view of the government, as a signal to tell us that they are much confident of themselves, that they can normalize the economy and control inflation.
Right. And so what do you think are the main reason why investors are showing so much interest in treasury bills?
Great. So investors are more interested in treasury bills for a number of reasons. Treasury bills are investment, and within a short time, you're able to recoup your money plus interest. So ordinarily, I had enough money, or I would save that money. Now, when I save the money over a period, say 91 days, at a bank, normally in a savings account, I will get no returns on it. However, if I buy treasury, I'm going to get returns on it. So it's a safe investment at a short term, and I would get my money in a few days. So people are highly interested in getting a treasury bill. But of course, the interest rate is higher. So given that you get a higher return after investing your money for a short period, people would definitely be interested in having the treasury. And also, it signals a trust in government, because we know that, after all, when I give my money to the government will surely give me my money back plus return. So people are more convinced to go into other forms of investment, and hence the need for Ghanaians or the oversight by in terms of the treasury bill.
Right. And so, with that being said, we've seen a significant drop in T-bill yields, now ranging between 26% and 27%, down from 28 to 30%. What is driving this decline, if I may ask?
All right. So earlier, our friends was explaining isn't simple demand and supply. Now, I have a product I am selling. That is, in this case, the government. The government has a treasury that it wants to buy from Ghanaians. Now, many Ghanaians are rushing into it. So then, the advantage now comes to the government, because I have the thing to offer. So if you are ready to accept a lower interest rate or return yield, then I'm ready to offer that to you. By Ghanaians is what has influenced in the treasury bill rate.
All right. So like you rightly said, now the government is confident in itself that it can control and manage the economy so well, and that they do not need that much money to actually, control the affairs of the economy. And then...
So there are sides to this.
Okay.
That is what the picture the government is trying to portray.
All right.
So that is the picture they are trying to portray.
Okay.
And many a time for this, the government wants to often ensure its ability to ensure fiscal discipline. So the government wants to avoid paying so much, incurring so much borrowing costs, and hence the need to reduce the treasury bill that it is going to accept.
Okay. So in your initial submission, you made mention that because and that is why the government, in the way that who money, won't that demand and supply also discourage investors going forward to, purchase treasury bills?
All right. So generally, or many a time, the treasury bill rate has a direct influence on the inflation. So if the inflation rate is, say, 20%, then you often see the treasury bill rate to be a little above the inflation rate, just so investors are compensated of the amount they are invested. So the government is now saying or giving a lower rate. Then that signals it is also a plan to curb the rising inflationary rate. So there are two sides to it while we look at them.
Right. And so
the same way, investors may opt to possibly look at other forms of investment. If treasury is a short term, go a longer term, then that option is available, month, etc.
all right. And so with this, what is your take in general on market trends with regards to the rejection, on the general market trends?
Okay. So, in general, in as much as the government wants to tell us of its confidence it has, investors who are also in to invest their monies may likely reduce their offers. So they may not be going in for the treasury bills. Now, when investors do this, what happens is, if government is able to really control its fiscal policy, then so be that is cool. But if it does not, then it will have a reverse effect on the government. How is able to really do this is that people who are money will no longer see the need to invest, but rather would issue out loans to especially financial institutions that would rather have ordinarily bought into these treasury bills, would now be giving out these loans to people or to the ordinary Ghanaians. So the ordinary Ghanaian who needs a loan will now have loan much easier to access and at a better rate. But in the present situation, when the treasury bill rate is higher, the ordinary Ghanaian would not want to go for a loan, but rather invest so as to yield much returns. So within the market, you're going to see if the government is really able to stabilize the economy by ensuring this fiscal discipline, then what happens is that financial institutions will now issue out loans to ordinary Ghanaians, and access to loans will be much easier than it is presently.
Right. Okay. And so on that note, I also want to ask, aims to raise 7 billion in the next T-bill auction. What advice would you give to investors ahead of this target by BOG?
So you realize that now the target is what reducing. Earlier, the government accepted 9.43 billion, and as you already said, the next would be to accept about 7 billion. That tells you the government is trying to, in terms of the local loans that they are securing, reduce it. However, when the government is really able to do this, the adverse effect is without proper implementary measures, then the government is likely to suffer in the end. However, if the government is really able to do this, then, as I said earlier, the access to loans would be better. Inflation rate is likely to be normalized or reduced slightly.
Please, do you have any policy?
Yes, so in general, as hopeful and praying that efforts by the government to normalize the economy by reducing the treasury bill acceptance level, we are all hoping that to be able to implement proper fiscal and monetary measures to ensure that inflation is really brought under control and the fiscal policies are really strengthened to ensure Ghana's economy becomes one of the strongest in Africa.
Right, so ensuring that Ghana's economy becomes one of the strongest in Africa. I've been speaking with Mr. Gideon Adetewia on the topic, impact of Treasury Bill-based rejection on market trends. Thank you very much, Mr. Tewia, for joining us on the business segment on the Coco Digest Morning Show. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Peter.
On the business of this segment, my name is Do enjoy the rest of our program.
CLOG TV, beyond the policy.
Jane, when you lose your virginity.
CLOG TV, Beyond the Policy.
Yeah, so watching the Coco Digest morning show here on CLOG TV. Earlier in our discussion for the online print review, we had discussion rent, and there are a couple of messages here I would quickly want to read, so we move on with our today's discussion. Okay, so this one says, hello Beaches, with the 6 months rent advance, it will only work if governments build affordable houses. It's just a talk. Even the rent control offices or officers, they themselves rent and they pay more than that 6 months. They won't rent the house anymore. What will those in need of rented houses do? DJ Tropical is asking this particular question. We had other issues also that we tackled, and there are conversations and comments in relation to that. This one says, we don't understand why Insawan MP, in the person of Honorable Anodompre, is walking free in town upon distractions of electronic gadgets in Parliament. Same man NPP members to attack NDC members. He also shot somebody during election 2024. Why should such a person be free? Greetings to Madam Obobia and Mr. Randy Abe, CEO of Ghana Cocoa Board, Kwablanvi of Pokwasi, Benghazi. He also is asking, special prosecutor must investigate former NSS boss, that's the National Service, in the person of Madam Gifty Owari Mensah for misappropriation of NSS funds and fixing ghost names to siphon money from financial control. She has caused huge financial loss to the state and denying graduates to get jobs to do. Greetings to Mami Ifwa Idu. So these are some of your comments, and now is the main segment of the Coco Digest morning show. We are talking about enhancing food security in Ghana. And I have with me some honorable members. I have with me, firstly, to mention, I have Engineer Tete Cleforce. He is the CEO of Clear Group of Companies. I also have Stephen Kwashi. He expert and agricultural entrepreneur. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. We are also on GoTV channel 184. You would want to join in the conversations by sending in your messages and get interactive with us. Hi. You're welcome. Thanks so much. You have been here before. Yep. This is your first time. Akwaba.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, so let's get straight into the conversation. We are talking about enhancing food security, and I want to on food security. I would go with you.
Yeah, so...
But before that, you are a farmer.
Yes.
What are you into?
So we do crop farming.
What particular crop?
Farming, vegetables, onion, tomatoes, pepper, and maize.
Onion, tomato, pepper, and maize. All right. Okay. And you are a rabbit farmer side.
Side rabbit
all
farmer.
Other things.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into our topic.
Yeah.
Enhancing food security. Yeah. What is food security?
Right. So thank you. So I'd like to take this opportunity to greet all my people out there, the artisans and all the farmers out there. God bless us to be able to keep our country moving. So food security. Food security has to do with we having food all the time and at an affordable price.
Okay.
You don't need to struggle to get food on the table. So when these things are, we can proudly say that the state of our security when it comes to food is being met. So if all these things are not able to
come in place, then our level of food security is very low. So when you ask me about food security, that's it. We need to have food all time, affordably, and at any time.
And where does Ghana stand in all these?
Percentage, I would say we are about 30%. Because looking at the way farmers are struggling in this country, it looks like nobody cares about farmers in Ghana. I'm saying
How
this
are you struggling?
I'm saying this from experience. You know, I started my farm thinking that it's but when I started, I realized that no, farmers are really going through a lot. You are not getting support from anywhere. You are doing everything yourself. And this is the situation where you want to be farming throughout the year. When the rain, you need to jump to irrigation. And the irrigation equipment here in Ghana, you can't buy. Majority of these things have been imported. Call on banks to give you facilities to be able to sort things out. No. Government also is not having certain things in place so that you'll be able to, get access to them to help you. In fact, it's actually a place that if you are not strong financially, you can't. So you see the rich people going into farming, only them. The poor guys are not able to do. Even if the poor man wants to farm, it's just something small. If you really want to have a number of harvest where you can reach out to many people, you need a lot of investment.
Investment, huh? So he spoke about food security being one aspect of it is the access of the food itself. And don't you think Ghana have more produce to give to its people?
Right, thank you very much. In terms of produce, I would say locally, we don't have enough in terms of produce. But in terms of the land, we have a lot of land to be able to produce, but we are not putting the resources into good use. So that's where he spoke about another aspect of food security is about the affordability. And if you are not producing more and your demand, you know, I'm a finance expert, so mostly I would like to move into the money aspect. So when the supply is limited, you know, we don't have a lot of people producing the food stuff for us, but the demand is constantly growing, where our food prices will be increasing, and the affordability aspect of food security will be endangered.
Wow. So you don't think food security is also, when it comes to individuals, I feel it's a preference because you would say food security is having a balanced diet on your plate as well. That is, you are secured with the food you have. But I think it's a preference. I choose what I want to eat. But when it comes to general terms, we are not secured when it's food.
Yeah. So I think Clefos has done justice with the definition, because we need to look at the definition very well. That way we'll be able to, you know, have a very great discussion. You know, there are 4 aspects of food security. So you have the accessibility, what you spoke about, the affordability, and you have the stability. Then you have the utility.
Okay.
You know, the utility has to do with, you know, the usage, whether it's for food or for farm inputs. So these 4 broad areas, we need to look at it maybe individually so that we know where we stand. Because when it comes to nutritious food, it's not about I have my preference. You have to eat nutritious food.
Exactly.
Or else you'll be malnourished. And if you are malnourished, your life is in danger.
It's a national issue.
It's a national issue. It's gone beyond individual management. So if you don't have enough money, then you don't have like the affordable food on your table, and that's a challenge.
I know you are a farmer. I still want to ask, how in your way are you contributing to food security in Ghana?
Right, so in my way as a farmer, what I do is I start from my farm and then the people I have around the farm. I cannot carry the cross of the whole country. The country is not helping me. So, but we hope someday that because I see our current president also is a farmer. I'm very much happy when I saw him doing farming. So, with the people around, what I normally do is that those who come to buy, we try as much as possible to beat our prices down. So that it won't be like we are producing at a higher cost, so we are supposed to sell to the people at a higher cost. One good thing about farming is that the land, God has designed the land such that anything you put in there will come back, will come to life, and you can reap several times. So if you have such a thing at your disposal, I don't see the reason why you should use that to penalize others. So at my farm, if it's 1 cedi out there, I sell it at 50 pesos so that everybody will be able to afford. I also put certain things in place so that, the roads to the farms are...
Okay. Where is your farm located?
Asasewa. Yes, you are very right.
When he told me, that was what came into
that came into mind. Yeah. So we have certain transports and other things in place so that we meet the buyers halfway. So that it won't be much of a problem when you need to get the produce into the main towns. So those are the things we are contributing in our own small way to be able to help the system. We are also rendering training to some other young ones to also venture into agric. If we, agric, it needs a lot of hands. A lot of hands. I think that's the only sector that has other sectors embedded into it. There's construction in agric. There's health in agric. There's a technical aspect in agric. There's a whole lot in agric. Being watched very well. I don't think leaving Ghana to other countries for greener pastures should still go on. Because, frankly speaking, maybe some farmers are not saying the truth. I'm telling you today.
It is.
It's a very lucrative area.
Okay.
So when we look at it and the help comes, great.
Wow. All right. Yeah. I'd wanted to ask you, do you have a background in agriculture, or if not, what's inspired you to enter?
So thank you for this. I intentionally decided to learn about agric. Early 2020, I was in the Volta region, and then I asked myself, if the lights go on continuously and everything decides to go down at a go, what happens to me? If all the projects I'm working on goes on successfully and I'm done with the project and I'm sitting at home. So I needed to add something to what I'm doing. So I wanted something that all the time will be in demand. And then agric came into mind because we are eating every day. The stomach has no holiday. And other stuff. And then I chose farming. Yeah, so we are doing the vegetables because, there is no meal without vegetable. Every meal. Someone can decide to go to the market and decide not to buy grains, but you can't decide not to buy vegetables. Yes, so we chose the vegetables. We do vegetables and animals. That's where we are. So we are just taking advantage of anything that we see at our disposal. We just use it, make good use out of it.
Something intentional. You have to be intentional about it.
Very intentional. Very, very intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know you're a rabbit farmer. Yeah. I want to ask, how do you contribute to Ghana's food security?
Right. Thank you. Rabbit farming is a sweet business.
Okay.
It's a sweet business, and at my end, we are looking at the animal protein. For crops, you can have crop protein, beans, cereals and stuff. So, for variety. So we are contributing in the aspect of animal protein. I chose rabbit farming specifically because of its nutritional values. Because if you compare it to other animal protein, it is a head and shoulder above all of them. And I decided that, okay, let me focus on it. It doesn't require a lot of space. It's easy to do. in terms of time requirement, you just need about, let's say, 1 hour in the morning.
Okay.
And another 1 hour in the evening, and you are good.
Okay.
That depends on your size.
It depends on your size. In fact, if your size is bigger, then it means you need like more hands.
Exactly.
But the way rabbit is structured, even 2 people need about a 50 to 100 dough units.
Okay.
When I say
And
dough,
what's your capacity now?
my capacity is at 25.
25.
25.
Okay.
Most of the smallholder farmers, they are just doing between 10 to 20, 10 to 25. When you hit above 100, that's where you begin to see that I'm doing commercial.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for now, we are doing the farming at our households.
Okay.
So backyard. But the way farming is, rabbit farming is structured, you have everything in tiers, the cage system.
Yeah.
You have 12 in 1. So if you have 12 in 1 cage, it can contain, if you have 10 of it, it means you can do about what? 120.
120.
So you don't need to operate with. So I look at the size and the time requirement that is needed to do rabbit farming. I see that, okay, it will help me, because for me, I move around a lot. I don't want something that will put me at one place, and that way we'll be able to contribute significantly to our protein levels in this country. I know the poultry, they're also doing their part, like a supplement.
Okay.
Right.
So crop farming and poultry or rabbit farming, which is more difficult? I want to ask.
I would say crop farming is more difficult.
Crop farming.
Yes, because the animal farmers sometimes depends on the crops. The poultry farmers depends on maize.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the rabbit farmers also maize, some products of some parts of maize is also good for the rabbits also. So crop farming, very difficult. Unlike getting a small space like he's talking about, farming, for you to get the quantum you are looking at, you need a bigger space.
Okay.
Yes. If you want to, I started with 2 acres, increased to 10 acres. You ask, why didn't I stay at 2 acres?
2 acres.
Now I'm targeting 30 acres.
Yeah.
So we keep expanding all the time. If you don't have the numbers, you cannot be able to achieve your aim.
But do you have the land to farm?
Yes, there are lands.
There are.
There are lands. A lot of lands are available.
No, in Accra, there are lands.
So in Accra, there are no lands.
Okay.
In Accra, the outskirts of Accra, there are a lot of land. My area, for example, there are a lot of lands. But the challenge here is the investment to put into what you want to do is the challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because before you get the land, if there are trees on, you need to pull them down.
We'll come to the challenges. I know it's a huge tall list, so
it's serious.
We'll get to that. But I want to ask what avenues of markets do you have when it comes to advertising or selling out your goods?
Locally and internationally.
You do have the markets internationally?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
Yes, a lot of markets. You know, with what I'm doing, I don't stress in marketing it. The buyers are readily available. Some even come to even check if it's ready.
Is it because demand is higher than supply when it comes to
the demand is very high. Very, very high.
I agree with him. And even if you look at rabbit meat, people even think that rabbit meat, who are rabbit meat? Okay. But I'm telling you, just Sunday, I slaughtered more than 20 rabbits. Just Sunday, I slaughtered more than 20 rabbits. And, you know, in some cases, your farm alone cannot supply.
Yeah.
That's why we are in networks. So if somebody is ordering like 50 rabbits, what am I going to? Maybe I have 20 now. I have to contact my other farmer. Asking, please, can you give me 10? Can you give me 5? Then we pull it together. Then we can supply. So the demand is more than the supply. Is 100% true. Because even now, if one restaurant decide that, okay, I'm going to operate a meal, and you have to add rabbit meat to it. You know, already we have going to add rabbit meat to it. Trust me, farmers in Ghana here, rabbit farmers cannot supply.
Yeah.
Rabbit farmers can never supply.
Even looking at the number of poultry farmers we have, we are still not able to meet the demand.
Yeah. So we have more room to expand and increase supply. And, you know, the video, he showed me a video this morning about the president speaking about.
We'll come to that. We have
look
the
at,
video.
I think I'll reserve my comments.
All right, okay.
I'll reserve my comments for that because I have a lot to talk about.
So you said you are into maize farming, right?
Yeah.
Why is maize so? The cost of maize is high.
Yes.
It's used not to be high. Olonka can sustain you, and now.
So the main problem is the failure of the rains. The rains are not coming down. So that's the main problem. You know, most of the farmers who do maize on large scales depend on the rain. That's a major headache in Ghana when it comes to farming. If you want to have for food to be available all the time, then you have to think of going into irrigation. So that when the rains fail, you can depend on irrigation. But majority of our farmers are not able to go into irrigation. Why? Because the stuff you will need for irrigation are crazily expensive. Seriously expensive. And these are farmers who are not even able to produce on a larger scale. How do they get money to do this? So I think the policies all the time. We'll have to look at it and start something practical. Go on the ground, see those who really, it's true, some people are really, they get money and they are not using it for what they are supposed to use it for. But let's go on the ground. Look at farmers who really need this and help them. And once this is done, all these price hikes and other things will be a thing of the past.
All right, Stephen, he mentioned that the land is in abundance. And the resources, the seeds to plant them are also in abundance. Now up to whether to rely on rainfall or use other means to water these plants. What can we do?
So as he mentioned, irrigation is the way to go.
It is.
Because you know, there is this hunger hotspot statistics. I have the document. I will share with you. It's my phone. It's looking at the key factors that contribute to food insecurity, and climate is one of them. There are other factors. We will look at conflict. If we have time, we will discuss conflict and how it affects food insecurity. But this time, climate is number one. And mostly our farmers, they rely on rain to feed their crops. That is not sustainable. That is not going to create stability. Remember when we started, I told you that food security is in 4. You have the accessibility, the affordability, the stability, and the utility. So the stability part, you need the food. And to get food all year round, you need to have a mechanized water system. You don't have to rely on rainfall 100%. It's like we are going back to Adam and Eve era. We are in a new era. We should be able to solve this climate issue with our irrigation system. And that he's an engineer. So he was telling me how he's able to move the water from the lake, dig reservoirs, and
the lake you used to. That's the same lake you supply water.
Yes, for the. So he has in-depth knowledge on irrigation. How do you move the water from the lake down to your farm? What system are we going to use? So the engineering and the technology will come into place. So we need that.
How are you able to do that?
So you see, I was telling you that. I was telling you that.
Do you use hose too?
Yeah, so we have pipelines that we use to do that. So I was telling you earlier on that agric is the industry is embedded into it. So the engineering aspect, I do everything engineering there myself. So this is how it goes. We have a main pumping machine at the river bank, the side, which pulls the water. But looking at the size of land we have and the size of crops we want to do at a go, we need a bigger size. And you cannot have just one pumping machine doing that. So you have to get several reservoirs on the way. So the first one pumps into a sizable an acre of land, and then we do our irrigation there. From there, it pumps to the next one if we are expanding. So we keep pumping, and we are irrigating as we go.
You created the system yourself?
Everything myself. Everything, the solar systems, the lighting system, the piping system, everything, I did all myself. So you see, the engineering background is what is helping me do all these things. So I took it intentional. I sit and I learn. I don't sleep. Yes, you know, if you don't have the it's another area. If you don't have passion for what you are doing, you can't. And it's the passion that's driving us. We get money from somewhere, we just push it in there. We don't care whether we don't care about the returns, but we know definitely returns are going to come.
Yeah.
Yes. So
but you said it's lucrative.
Very lucrative.
How are you saying you don't have the returns?
No, I'm not saying we don't have the returns. There is.
Okay.
But if you are having your concentration on the returns, you end up failing.
Okay.
Yes, the fact that this area is also a danger zone because you can get it, you can fail. You know, interestingly, the first time I tried, I failed woefully. You know, that was when the VRA flood issue came up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did. Seriously, I did about 2 to 3 acres of onion. I lost all of them. I lost all of them. So I had the farmers at that time too close to the river. So when the flood came up, he just caught up with me. But I learned from that, build up the experience, move up to the upstreams, and then expanded. And then we just hit. So the next one we did, frankly speaking, all lost we had at the first one, we covered everything. Cares paid for tools, all things we took on credit, we just cleared it, and we've expanded again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the passion is what drives you.
Passion. If you don't have the passion, please don't.
But you can't just passion because this is a national issue.
Yeah.
It involves me, it involves you.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have the passion for it, I have to be involved in it.
Yes, so
Because-
this is, the passion is coming in place. You know, not everybody will come and tell you I'm a farmer, has the passion. If Stephen doesn't have passion for farming, I don't think he'll be doing that as a side business. Because the passion, even if, you know, there are others who don't have the passion but have the money.
Okay.
If you want to entrust your money into someone's hand, entrust it to somebody who has the passion.
Yeah.
Because if I have the money and I want to invest into farming, whoever I'm giving my money to needs to be present on the farm. If not all the time, because if you're not there to monitor things, you are going to have issues.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, because I think you were talking about heartbreaks.
Yeah.
Farming, agric is one of the areas that's
Heartbreak is everywhere.
it's everywhere, and in agric it's too much.
Okay.
You have a heartbreak in agric that it will take years to recover.
Wow.
Yes, because the investments that will go in there, if you don't take care, something else can happen to you.
So here's into onion farming.
Yeah.
Yes, we are still important. I never knew like Asesewa can grow onions.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it's just from the northern
Oh yeah,
region.
we do that. I think a lot of them are also coming. They come all the way from north and join us there to do it. Most of my farm hands are from the north.
So how come are we important onions?
Yeah, so it still goes back to our productivity. We have the land, we don't make use of it. And, you know, I think we have to discuss about financing. It's a very big issue. When I was coming this morning, I was looking at the secured loan statistics. You realize that Greater Accra alone takes about almost 70% of secured loans in Ghana. Getting loans from commercial.
Okay.
Greater Accra alone takes almost 70%, 69 point something. Followed by Ashanti region, 14%. If you add these two regions, 80% of banks' loans goes to Greater Accra and Ashanti region.
But did you get into what they use it for?
Definitely, Accra is not a farming area. So if large proportion of our loans from financial institutions are being pumped into Accra, Accra is not a farming area.
Yeah.
It means they're not going to get enough money to expand our farms. So, and the shocking about that statistics is that the lowest people are in the up north, Savannah and upper east, upper west.
Wow.
And these are places where
we have the land where we can take advantage of it. So we need the banks. They need to be careful. Especially when I say this with passion, because we need to send money up north because we have the lands there. We need to send the money there. Train the people, because some of the issues about the bank, when they give money to the people, they cannot make use of the money. It's risky and all those stuff. The bankers, they need to associate with the insurance companies. We have agri insurance in other countries.
Yeah.
So what happened to my brother, where he lost his farm due to flood? Flood is a natural disaster. Yeah. So why should he be burdened or punished because a natural disaster has hit his farm? There should be an agri insurance, and we cannot do it. Smallholder farmers, you cannot do this. The bankers, the banking institutions, and the insurance company, they should come together, create a package for farmers. They should stop saying that agri is risky. We will not give them money. Agri is risky. Please, ADB, I'm begging them. They should push names. They should push the money up north.
Okay.
Now, I have a report. United States, USAID. You know, recently we used about USAID. He has cut off the funding. Some countries are going to suffer if we don't begin to think inward and build our internal capacity. Yes. So this is United States. They are providing $3 million to support farmers, Ghanaian farmers. Here's it.
Wow.
And if you look at these international companies,
Ghanaian farmers in Ghana.
In Ghana, when they start this project, they push their targets are up north because they've seen our land size, and they push the monies there. There is another report, Norwegian Tomatoes Project. They are also pushing about $2.2 million into tomatoes farming. So they are not targeting Accra; they are targeting these rural areas. And when we are able to do that very well, we wouldn't have people moving from up north, the middle belt into Accra to create the congestion here. Yes. So there will be a lot of people out there. I was telling him, some of us will be moving very soon.
Oh yes, yes.
We're moving to the north very soon so that we add up to the labor.
Yes.
When they see us from the south coming to the north to do farming, they'll be encouraged. Yeah. They will stay. Then we'll be able to increase our produce, because food inflation alone is for year-on-year food inflation is about 28.3.
That's high.
That's very high. It is the food inflation is what is driving the national inflation. National inflation is 23.5, and food inflation is the significant driver of national inflation. And what's the issue? We have, the last time I was telling you, we have the people, young people, fresh blood. Fresh blood, more land. Yeah. Fresh blood, more land. And we cannot produce more. It's all about the arable lands. It's all about the education, the motivation, the financing. And there again, I will go to the banks. They should come on board. Let's do this together. Even if you have a district and they are just doing, I'm into rabbit farming, so I can speak to rabbit farming. It's 50 dough units in communities. Please, the food prices will begin to come down because supply is going to increase. Then very soon we'll begin to talk about exporting. For now, I don't want us to even discuss a lot about exporting food products, because if you look at some of our things, we even import.
We don't have enough to consume. We are talking about exporting too.
We don't have enough to locally produce.
Okay.
Yeah. So how, we even export yam in this country. But meanwhile, yam prices are also increasing. So ask yourself, why is that the people will not buy in-house? Because of the prices, affordability. So they will rather take it to Europe, where they have the money to buy. So affordability, food security. If you cannot pay for it and we have enough food, still, we are not secure.
So are you saying you've not gotten any support for your farm business?
Not at all.
I can say
Did you apply for any support yet? Or?
So you know what? I am an executive member for an association of youths in Accra. So we do a lot of training for youth in construction. So then the support, the donors, all of a sudden shifted into agric. So I sat down with my team and we said, okay, let's design something so that these youth who are complaining that the construction sector is not helping them, they can go into Agric. Then we picked the trade areas and what they are going to be doing in Agric. We designed a program, drafted it, sent to the donors. Interestingly enough, it was another body. For the body to start implementing that. But the sad part of the whole thing is that I was expecting this to go into the village. I realized that they were doing this in Accra, Cape Coast, and you just see them on social media. And I asked myself, there are no lands in Accra. If you really, it's not in Accra. Let's go out, engage the farmers out there. What do they need? Let our youth who are in Accra, who are also into farming, let's support them get lands outside there. Guide them on how they can do this. So, if you talk about help, an application for help, you will apply, but it won't come. For banks, no, I have an engineering firm. I save with banks. All monies that we can, all transfers that can, goes to the banks. I reached out to them. They told me they can't help me. Yes. So annoyingly, whatever money comes, I pick it up and send it to the farm.
I see.
Yes.
All right, so we have a break now. When we come back, our President John Dramani Mahama has some line policies he wants to implement to help curb food insecurity in Ghana. We'll look at that. Please stay with us as we go for a break.
CLOG TV, Beyond the Policy.
This is still the main segment of the Coco Digest Morning Show, and I have with me Engineer Tete Cleforce and Stephen Kwashi, who are farmers, and they are speaking to us on enhancing agriculture or food security in Ghana. We have a list of policies President John Dramani Mahama wants to implement to enhance agriculture in Ghana, and therefore we want to watch this. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. Please stay and watch.
Developing the agriculture and agribusiness sector with special in all regions with support from the Farmer Service Centers and Exim Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, some people say agriculture belongs to poor people. But I say agriculture can generate significant wealth and employment. We live in a world crippled by the ever-increasing effects of climate change. And in this uncertain and world, food security becomes a strategic issue. To put it simply, we cannot even begin to think about transforming Ghana if we don't put the right focus on agriculture. We cannot be successful in anything we do if we do not first put food on the table at an affordable cost for our people. Agriculture is the cornerstone of growth. Ignoring it is like trying to build a house without a foundation. The slightest storm will bring that house down. Without reliable access to full and nutritious food in sufficient quantity, growth and development are impossible. So I don't look at agriculture as an occupation for the poor. I look at it as the very basis of our future. The simplest way to achieve food security is to produce food locally. If you produce food locally, you are not dependent on import. You can still feed the people even if international distribution chains are broken. We won't have to go to other countries begging for grain if we get things right. This is the food security strategy I'm fighting for, and this is why I'm looking at farmers, fishermen, and other protein producers as strategic partners in building the Ghana we want, a modern, vibrant, thriving Ghana. Others may look down on agriculture, but I don't, because I'm a farmer myself. I see farmers as my close brothers and sisters of their strategic importance in helping Ghana become a true black star, not only of Africa but of the world. Farmers and fishers inspire me, and I hope that I will inspire them too. And let me just share 3 examples of the policies we will implement as soon as we form the next government. I've said already that we shall establish special agro-industrial in the 16 regions of our country to add value to local crops they have a comparative advantage to produce, and thereby boost exports and reduce raw material imports. Secondly, we shall create opportunities for farmers to improve food security and bolster economic growth through the establishment of farmer service centers across the country. This will be enhanced by well-established farmers' cooperatives, advanced farming techniques, modern digital tools, and the promotion of agribusiness.
All right, so that was what President John Dramani Mahama promised to farmers. You are farmers. Are you satisfied with the president?
I'm happy. I'm happy the president is a farmer. You know, I told you earlier on that I'm happy he is into it and he's feeling what we are feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, so if he's telling us that when he comes and as he has to do it, I believe he's going to do it.
You believe?
Since he is already into it and he knows what the farmers are facing. You know, I told you about passion. Listening to what he's saying, you realize he's speaking out of passion. So I believe he's going to do it. Let's just pray that the people he put in place to carry out such things will work diligently. I will not look at faces.
All right, Stephen, he mentioned that agriculture is the cornerstone.
Yeah.
Do you believe him?
100%. 100%. I agree with the statement. And, you know, the last time I was saying that it is actually the life bloodline of the economy.
Yes.
Without food, everyone will die. In fact, you need to think about what to eat before you think about where to sleep and what work to do. So it is very true. It is the cornerstone of our economy. And when we expand it very well, all aspects, the challenges, unemployment, food insecurity, poverty will be well tackled.
All right, so processing our agricultural products, this is also a challenge. He also highlighted on that. And I think we are wasting food.
Yeah.
When When you go to Art Center where they sell the tomatoes, you see rotten tomatoes everywhere.
Yeah.
It's in the food we are producing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually true, and we don't have enough. And at the same time, we are wasting it. And it's all because of the agro processing. Agro processing is key, and it comes to the storage too. You know, when I was in Ho, there is this place in Ho, it's a silo. You know, during Kwame Nkrumah's time, he built silos in every regional.
Yeah.
What was the idea? The idea was that when the farmers they do their harvest and they are in, they send the surplus to the storage.
Okay.
So that when I spoke about stability, so that off season they will release all those supply into the system. Then the price will begin to be stable. But because we don't have storage facilities, we don't have agro processing companies. When we produce, we want to consume all that, else it would go bad. Like watermelon.
Yeah.
I see watermelon being paraded on the streets.
Yes.
Because there is no agro processing company that would turn our watermelons into watermelon juice. I was telling him this morning that there is a company in Dubai that produces tomatoes juice.
Yeah.
And it is in the paper wine. You see that kind of paper wine packaging.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, I said, tomatoes, and they've made it into like a juice. Are they going to drink it or is for? When I tasted it, it is raw tomatoes. So you can actually use it for your soup, or you can actually drink it raw. So if you have such a company in Ghana, I don't think we will have tomatoes going bad. So whilst as a nation we are looking at other strategies, let's focus on agro processing to reduce the waste. Already the food is not enough. Let's not waste. And the ones we are importing, most of them are processed food. If you check our import, they are processed food. The people are processing their surpluses and they are bringing it to us. And our surpluses are going waste in our own country. So we really need to look at agro processing as a direction.
All right. So Theresa Mamle Asari says, big ups CLOG TV for this. People like what we are discussing about. Okay. And I'm thinking the reason for perishing of the product is as a result of the distance from the supply or sell it. Could that be an issue?
In this time, in this era, distance shouldn't be a barrier.
Yeah.
Okay.
The main problem is what Steven is talking about. The processing plants, even the ones that we have, they are not enough.
Yeah.
The processing plants are not enough. And also, our graduates who are graduating from school and are saying they are nowhere. It's our time they start thinking about agric and see how they can come out with initiatives to be able to help us curb down some of these wastages. So they should stop. There's no work, and look at that channel. Looking at the tomatoes you are talking about, you know, we are able to process pepper into powder.
Yeah.
We can process tomatoes into powder.
Tomatoes into powder.
Yes. We are even thinking of bringing some out. Some are even in the system. But you see, all boils down to the investment. You know, when you have the capital, then you can expand and be able to do more. It's not coming. And where the investments are great. These equipments I'm talking to you about are very expensive.
Yeah.
So doing that as an individual or as a company, most of the times it's difficult. So it takes time for us to be able to get to that level. When the government comes into this, some of these things will be a thing of the past. Because look at onions, for example. Alone, we are not even, our onion that we produce here is not even up to. Because I produce onion about several acres of land and just 2 buyers comes to buy all. And in about a week, it's finished. And we are looking at going to Niger, Burkina Faso and others to import onions. That tells you that there's still more work to do here.
Yeah.
Now, what's the challenge with onion production? Is it the nature or the quality of the land or what? Because even tomatoes, we import tomatoes from other countries. Is it that they are of quality than ours?
No. In terms of quality, what we produce here is good. You don't know the state in which they are being produced. But whatever we produce here is good. But our challenge here is that we are not able to process whatever leftover we have. For onion, for example, like I'm telling you, onion, once it gets finished, because it's something we consume on a daily basis. Tomatoes also gets to the market. It should be able to get that, like the onion. But this is the reason for tomatoes. Tomato is not able to stay for a longer period of time, but onion can. So you not getting the buyer to come and buy, and it's keeping long on the shelf, it's going to go bad. So the best thing is, for me, if I have it for about a week and I know it's going to go bad in 2 weeks' time, the best thing is to process it. So the buyer will still come, meet it in another state, and can still buy and use it for what he wants to use it for. In that case, solving these problems we are facing now.
You have a reaction.
Yeah, I have a reaction to that because I realize that we eat for taste, not for nutrition. We don't look at the nutritional value of what we are eating. We just, so if it does not taste well, we say, we don't like. Because processed food, the taste will change. So you see people going to the market, say, I want fresh that, I want fresh onion, I want fresh tomatoes. That demand for fresh tomatoes is actually stopping us from also producing this processed tomatoes like tin tomatoes. But mind you, some of our tin tomatoes are coming from Italy. And if you check the content of that tin tomatoes, the tomatoes content in it will not even be up to 40%. So if people are in their homes, they can look at their tin tomatoes, the container. Yes. They should look at the tomatoes content in that tin tomatoes.
I wish I had.
Yes, I told you need to be intentional about some of
other things that they are mixing up with it for it to become red. So if as a country we want to eat for nutrition and not for taste, then said that if you turn these tomatoes into tomatoes juice, even though I will not get it in its fresh taste, I still like it. If we turn the pepper into pepper powder, it doesn't come with its original taste. I still like it, I'll eat, because the content, the nutrition in it is still going to be the same. Now, if we come to rabbit farming, people will say, oh, I want fresh rabbit, point and kill.
I like that.
So by that, it means that if maybe the farmer is not getting a buyer for the rabbit, he cannot even slaughter it. But at my end, I have the ones that if you want fresh, you'll get. And I have the ones that when it hits market gauge, I'll slaughter it and I'll put it in the freezer.
Okay.
It will reduce my space. I'll not need more space. And it also reduce my feed consumption, which will go into my cost. So if now we all accept, oh, okay, I don't want the point and kill. You give me the frozen one. We are all, that's me doing preservation. The taste will change a little bit, but the nutrition content will be the same.
So how can support you? What type of support do you need? And how can government come to your aid? Because remember, you are not the only farmer in Ghana. So what can government do practically? Can you outline that?
Right. So thank you for that question. Now, the support can come, but they should not look at faces. You know, there are people who are on the ground who have positive business plans, business minds, like my brother is talking about. In my area, in the area in which I find myself, I've been able to put certain things in place. So meeting me as a farmer, then I'll be able to put these things on the table. I want to do plan A, B, C, D. This is how it's going to turn things around in a sector in which I find myself. This is how it's going to create employment for the people around. These are the kind of Then the government can say, okay, looking at what you said, louder, and then whatever push you need, you can do it. So this is what the government is supposed to do. The government should give us a setup, give us a secretariat, give us a place where we can reach to, all farmers can reach to with their concerns. Because as it stands now, if you need help, you are looking for the government. Where are you going to find the government? So let's come publicly and say, farmers across the country, this is it. This is a secretariat. If you have a plan, this is the problem we want to solve. Come and tell us how you can solve this problem and how you have started solving it already. Because mind you, even the donors who come to support us, when they come and they want to support you, they say, fund it 30%. And then they support you 70%. So if this is what you want to do, how have you started that on your own?
Oh, so there are donors.
Oh yeah, there are people who help. But it's now, like he said, Trump is cutting it.
Yeah.
So then what happens to us? But people have planned that they've started doing something on their own and they are not able to expand. So let's have a secretariat. This is what the secretariat stands for. Any farmer across the country that wants a solution to a problem or you need a help, reach out to these people. There are experts there who are going to engage you. You tell them what you want to do. They move onto the field. Don't sit in the office. Go to the field. See what's going on the ground. And then you can support.
All right. We have a couple of messages. Let me read them quickly. It says, good morning. Please, I enjoy your program, but there's one issue I don't hear about organic fertilizers to support our realities with climate change and GMO to say but the least. Thanks.
Right.
So he's talking about fertilizer. Yeah,
using organic
one. So there are types of fertilizer.
Yes.
Really? Please explain to us.
So that's why I'm telling you, Agric has other industries in there embedded. But what we are talking about, that's things coming in there. So there are organic fertilizers. We have the chemicals mixed together, and there are the organic ones that we fall on, like the animal droppings are there. So the rabbit droppings, the fowl droppings are also fertilizers that helps to nourish the land for the crops to grow well. And then chemicals, which are organic, like the neem seeds. You know, these are normal neem trees. The bitter one, the seeds. Once you can process it, and there's an oil that is being extracted from that. That's what you use to repel insects, and so that you don't go in for the imported.
Wow, the neem tree we've been cutting.
Yes, the neem trees we've been cutting.
Oh, okay.
The seeds are very good repellents for insects. So that's what I use on my farm.
Wow.
I don't use the chemicals that we import. For insecticide, when the worms are feeding on the maize and then the onions, that's what we use.
Wow.
Yes, you do, you measure, you pour into your knapsack sprayer, add some water, and then you spray.
Drop-ins are the organic fertilizers we have.
Even there are fertilizers which are bottled, which are organic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, to answer that question too, he told me when we were coming this morning that in agriculture, like waste.
No.
Okay. So we need to begin to do what they call integrated farming. Where you are farming crop, maybe maize, you also have your fish farming there, you also have your poultry within maybe the same space. I was telling him about a system where the rabbit farms, they've tiered it like 1, 2, 3, 4. And below it is a fish pond. Wow. So the droppings of the rabbit go straight into the fish pond. And I bet you the fish, the way they enjoy it. Really? Because the rabbit dropping, it has, like, the manure from rabbit dropping is super. The last time I told you that the urine is also used as pesticides. Yeah. So if it's integrated, you know, the distance is close. But if it's to move and get the manure from this place, so we should also begin to practice integrated farming for manure.
Integrated farming, you say. There's another comment. It says, good morning, my beautiful host. My name is Baba Yaya Jalo Hakan from Kumasi. My suggestion is, if all the parliamentary candidates in parliament will involve themselves into farming, everyone should pick 1 or 2 different types of farming. Beautiful, do you think Ghanaians lack food in our supply? Baba Yaya Jalo Hakan Kumasi. So our leaders should set example.
Yes.
So as President John Dramani Mahama is in power, he shouldn't forget about his agricultural business.
Yes,
we know of John Dumelo, who is into agriculture. His particular suggestion is saying that all the parliamentarians, it should be a must.
All of them can do that because not all of them will have the passion. You see, John Dumelo is doing that, and he's now being given deputy agri minister. So the passion is key. If you don't have it, no, you can't.
Okay, so this one says, good morning, CLOG TV. This is the tomato juice the guy is talking about. Okay.
Oh, you sent me a picture.
Here, I'm sorry you cannot see this at this point in time.
Yeah.
All right. So send in your comment. We have some few minutes to go. Just 2 minutes, I heard.
Wow.
All right. So very soon. What's your final take on how to enhance our food security in Ghana in a minute?
So my final take is to the youths. Yes, they should take up the opportunities that are into agric, venture into agric. When the help is not coming, the other youths who are doing well into agric. One thing we are lacking the joint ventures. Come together, join resources, and start something on your own. Whilst you have started, learn along the line. Yes, and agric is not a disappointing area.
But you have an organization. Doesn't it work as your suggestion?
Organization for
farmers. Okay, I know of the cocoa farmers. Yes. I don't know whether you have...
Not. These organizations are limited to the kind of crops that they produce. So the cocoa farmers takes care of the cocoa
have the
people,
association,
and then but other farmers don't have organizations like. Yes, I know of the Onion Farmers Association too. Yes, but not the others.
So you are part of the Onion Farmers Association and the Tomato Farmers Association.
I don't know about tomato farmers.
And what support do you get Onion Association?
What they do at that side is, for me, that I have an expert advice. I now come in to advise them on how to do certain things. Yes, that's the problem. There's a lot of even the extension officers who are supposed to be going around and helping. You will have to now reach out
from
to
the
them.
local government.
Yes, you have to reach out to them. I remember calling one to come to my farm and educate us on what to do. After that, I gave him some onions. I started calling him till date. He's not picking up my call. And these are people who are supposed to be helping us be able to achieve these aims. So the youth should just venture into agric. They should forget about the town, the white collar jobs, and come into agric. Let's work.
It's lucrative.
Very
Tell them,
lucrative.
look into the camera.
Yes, come. All youths across the country, come. Let's go and do agric. I'm leaving Accra. I'm going to the village. And I'm going to farm.
Okay.
And I'll come with money.
Can you tell them how much you get?
Of course, I can.
You can. Please
I can.
do.
Yes.
So they see how.
Don't let that get into your. With the first one I did, I did about 2-3 acres, about 100,000. And 100,000, the returns I got was about 300%.
300%.
Yes.
What are you producing? Onion, tomato, pepper.
This one I'm talking to you about is just onion.
Onion.
Yes, just onion.
Onion farming.
Is it difficult to produce onion in Ghana?
It is.
Is it about the land?
That's what I told you. The lands
is it
are available.
Waterlogged land?
No, you don't
that
need
is
waterlogged
needed?
land.
No.
You need small land.
No.
But with onion production, irrigation.
Irrigation.
If you don't have it, you can't do it. If you are dependent on the rain, I'm sorry.
All right, well noted. Thank you. Also, what can President Mahama do to help curb food insecurity in Ghana?
Okay, so like
in a minute.
like he said, centers. He wants to build centers where people can go to and kind of learn and get knowledge. So it should be around capacity building, and it's very important. It's not everything is about knowledge. Is also very important, and also. Real estate operators are also competing so much with farmers for land. Now, I want to send landowners, mostly, you know, our lands are mostly vested with families. They shouldn't give all the lands to real estate developers. They should dedicate some lands for farming, not for this generation, but for future generation. They shouldn't give all the lands for this real estate and even the mining. It's actually destroying our water bodies. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have a couple of comments here. It says, Madam, I suggest you keep a regular agricultural show once a week.
Okay.
It's very informative. And if I could get in contact with Honorable Mr. Kwashi. All right. So the next one says, Agric will feed us. There's nothing else as important as feeding yourself well. Land acquisition should be made easy for agric purposes. Say hello to MP3 for me. Makini from Vicolis.
Yeah, that's my old schoolmate, Vicoli School Complex in Ablekuma.
Mauli.
No,
is it Mauli?
No, Ablekuma. This one is Ablekuma, Vicoli School Complex.
This is a reunion.
That's Makini. He's a software engineer.
Software engineer.
He's really good, yeah.
Please, we need you in our farm. So on that motivational, let me read his comment again. He says, Agric will feed us. There is nothing else as important as feeding yourself well. Land acquisition should be made easy for agric purposes. Wow. Thank you so much for making time with
CLOG TV, Beyond the Policy.